In late November, this guided missile destroyer, the USS Carney, shot down a drone launched by Houthi-controlled territory in Yemen. Just 1 month earlier, the ship intercepted several drones and cruise missiles fired by the Houthis. The Carney and other destroyers were sent to the Middle East with carrier strike groups to deter the Houthis and other militant groups, like Hezbollah, from getting involved in the Israel-Hamas war. So how did the Carney spot and shoot down the drones and missiles? And how else could the destroyer and its numerous defensive systems come into play in this conflict? Destroyers like the USS Carney have a few purposes, but experts say the main one is to protect their carrier strike group, an aircraft carrier and several ships that travel together. To do this, they use an automated and fully integrated combat system called Aegis.
The DDG destroyers really are defined by the Aegis combat system. It's the brains that pulls all these elements together.
Aegis is a reference to Zeus's protective shield in ancient Greek mythology. It connects various weapon systems on board, from the radar to the missile launch systems, contributing to both offensive and defensive operations. To spot potential threats, the ship employs the Spy-1D radar, the eyes of the system. 4 antennas on various sides of the ship provide full 360-degree coverage of the destroyer's surroundings. And the radar can detect a target as small as a golf ball over 102 miles away, and automatically track more than 100 targets simultaneously.
Should it pick something up, it's going to deposit more energy on that and develop a track and figure out, hey, what is this? Classify it, is it hostile?
After the radar has detected and identified a threat, Aegis works with the other systems to intercept it. To do this, Aegis communicates with the Mk-41 vertical launch system, a multi-cell module built into the hull of the ship that can fire almost any kind of Navy missile. It has a rapid-fire capability that enables the destroyer to effectively handle numerous incoming missiles. In the case of the October Houthi attack, the vertical launch system deployed SM-2s to intercept 4 missiles.
Fundamentally, the SM-2s are an anti-air effector, and so think going after cruise missiles or going after enemy aircraft, but also as well a handful of other things.
SM-2s have a range of 90 nautical miles and can reach an altitude of 65,000 feet. The Spy-1 communicates with the missiles to guide them mid-flight, illuminating the target for the missile to home in on. These two systems combined are the first level of defense for destroyers like the USS Carney, but they're capable of handling many other scenarios.
The principle of layered defense is fundamental, I would say, to the Aegis philosophy and for other systems as well.
One of those other systems is the CIWS, the close-in weapon system.
All those missiles that we talked about are going to have a much greater reach, whereas this is there for getting what they or something else might have missed.
The CIWS is defense for both the carrier strike group and the ship itself.
It's your last-ditch effort to kill whatever might be threatening the ship.
There are 2 types that the USS Carney may carry, the phalanx and the CRAM. They fire different ammunition, but they essentially work the same way. First, the search antenna provides information about a potential target, like its range, velocity, and altitude. Then it sends that information to the CIWS computer, which determines whether to engage. At that point, the mount moves to face the target and the track antenna kicks in, which views a smaller area but is extremely precise. The track antenna observes the target until the computer finds the maximal chance of a successful hit. Then the system either fires automatically or recommends firing to the operator. The phalanx is equipped with a short-range 20mm gun that can fire between 3,000 to 4,500 cannon rounds per minute. Experts estimate that the CRAM's range is 6 miles, and instead of a Gatling gun, the CRAM has a launcher that fires up to 11 rolling airframe missiles that can reach supersonic speeds. Experts say since these systems are the ship's last line of defense, they're given very little time to react. The CIWS may only have a couple of seconds and 1 chance to protect the ship from being hit. That's why the system works best as one of several layers of defense.
It's always good to have different systems with different effects so that you can begin to thin the herd, but you're not putting all your eggs in any one basket.
Experts say the carrier strike group's deployment to the Red Sea exemplifies the U.S. strategy to prevent the conflict from expanding and to defend Israel without putting troops on the ground. A different U.S. destroyer shot down a drone fired from Yemen in recent weeks. The destroyers also possess a number of offensive capabilities, including a 5-inch 54 caliber gun mounted on the ship and the ability to deploy both anti-ship harpoons and Tomahawk cruise missiles.
If those sorts of offensive or strike missiles are used, then that means that we've entered a different stage of the conflict. We would presumably be on the other side of a shooting involvement as opposed to kind of an aiding and assisting and serving as a defensive partner.
Carrier strike groups and the destroyers in them play many roles, but projecting power is chief among them.
The U.S. is certainly sending a message. Sometimes you communicate those messages through actions with talking softly and sending a big ship, and that's, part of the overall message of what's happening here.